can sort of get arms that will fold right through themselves, and it gets a bit weird. But essentially, you can do that. What you could also do when you've rigged your character is you can upload it to a website called Mixamo, and they will do stuff to it, and it will make your character dance like that. That's all right, isn't it? You know, that's what you get. It's fine. I mean, this is what they come out of the printer like. You'll see, I've printed them out in two sizes. This is the real size. That's your 28mm size. It's actually 28mm. It's actually 28mm to the eye level, which makes them really, really flipping tiny. So I've actually done a bigger one because taking photographs of really tiny things is hard, it turns out. So I've done that. So they've come out quite good. We've got one with the little computery thing, what's it called, the deck. One with the deck and a little shotgun thing. Twin little pistols and a big old gun. That's going to be me. That's me, that one. I've also done some bigger versions of the...
Hello there, taxidermists and gentle peeps, and welcome to Digital Taxidermy Gets Under the Hot End again. We're back after a short hiatus where I managed to sneak myself away on holiday, one of those mythical things. Yeah. And I'm back here with Martin. Hi, Martin.
Greetings. How is everyone?
How have you enjoyed your hiatus?
Mine's been busy as always. Mine never gets. I never get holidays. I forgot what holidays are. Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been busy. It's been manic. It's yeah, the normal, really.
The normal. So
The normal.
say hello there in the chat. We'd like hi the chat. How are you? Who's about? How are you doing?
How is everybody this evening? Yeah, no, it's
oh, it's Ragtag. How's he doing? How are you doing, Ragtag? Good to see you.
I can't see my chat, which is annoying. I don't know what's going on there.
Can't see the chat. It's there. It's there. We are here.
Yeah, it's just okay, weird.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Ragtag says hi, so there we go. Nice. So, we are here tonight with obviously Martin has been more on point with what is new than what I have been, for I have been away. So I guess throw the floor over to you for the moment, Martin. What's been going on?
Well, it's been busy. There's a lot coming out. Again, it seems it's gone mad again. To be honest, there's a lot of things in the pipeline, and some interesting things. To be honest, some that I weren't quite expecting. There's some new printers coming to light, and I know anycubic are actually launching a new Kickstarter, which sounds interesting. An SDL, I believe, printer.
So, like a laser resin printer.
Yeah. SDL. I mean, they've only released a little bit yesterday or today, asking what the community would like to see.
Yeah.
And then briefly, what I read quickly before the live, it's sounding like an SDL, but they're going to do it down the Kickstarter route. Now, for any cubic, that is very unusual. They don't Kickstarters.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing, is like the purpose of Kickstarter seems to have changed a lot over the last couple of years for the way it works and what people do with it.
It's taken a very different direction. I wouldn't say that's a bad thing necessarily, but it just makes me hope it's for the right reasons.
Well, I mean, you know, as long as everybody gets their items and it all gets produced, then I guess that's fine. I mean, the key thing is as long as the due diligence is done, that's the important thing.
Yeah,
Hi
exactly
there,
that.
Simon. How's it
Simon,
going? Good to see you. Good to see you.
hello.
And your name is very much correct, King of Marlin. The big fishes.
Yeah, the big boys are back. All right.
Yeah, yeah. No
Yeah,
pressure. No
it's
pressure.
no pressure now. No pressure. No, it's yeah, it's interesting to be honest. I'm quite interested to see where it goes and um to see what they're bringing out.
Are there any details that you can share of what to expect from it?
No, that is pretty much what I know on it.
Right.
It was a very quick post today over spring actually post. What would you like to see? We've got something coming to Kickstarter. What are your opinions? What would you like?
Mm,
Just to get some feedback, I believe. Just to get a bit of info out of the community on what they're hoping for.
right.
And then literally just before we went live, I was reading that she has put it to SDL going on Kickstarter. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued. Intrigued.
Okay.
So,
Nice. Yeah, no, you mean not SLR?
S,
SLR?
yeah, it was SDL. Sure it was. She had posted. I'm not sure. Does anybody in the chat know what she posted?
Because you've got the DLP uses the screen, and you've got the lasers are SLA.
Hang hang on, people. A DLP.
Right. So it still uses the screens like the photon and the mono and
Yeah, it's actually called the Photon Ultra. Is our first DLP printer.
right. But they've
Yeah,
already done DLPs
technology is totally new as an open platform.
because
So yeah.
the photon is a a DLP. So is the
Yeah. So okay.
what is it? The anycubic is the photon, isn't it?
Anycubic Photon Ultra's launch on Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this an 8K
I'm not.
screen on
It
this
doesn't
one?
even say.
Oh,
I
oh,
know.
I
I
needs
know.
the
It's just on the
details.
teaser. I'm like, ooh, I need to know.
I needs the details.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on, Spring. I know the suspense is killing us. We
yeah.
need to know.
Hook us up. Hook us up a
Yeah,
lot.
hook us
We
up a
need to
lot,
know
and
more.
we'll let everybody know.
You'll have
Well,
to butter her up. You know,
yeah,
she's a nice lady. She's a nice lady.
she's a lovely
Probably
lady.
she'll probably take the buttering. It'll be
She
fine.
might take a bit of buttering, but I don't know. We can try.
We can try. We can
We
try it.
can try. So yeah, that's got me really intrigued today. That was yeah,
Mm.
that's got me thinking.
So that could be coming along any time before Christmas, basically.
Yeah, by the sound of it, it's being launched very quickly, very soon. So
Mm.
keep an eye out,
Ev-
people. Definitely.
Everything's gone quite quiet on the J Labo front.
Yeah,
There
I've not
was
heard.
some posts in the group that I saw today of people saying, "So what's happening?" And apparently delivery is going to be around January time, which is
Really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez, that's
So
a bit long expected.
we'll we'll see on that one. We'll see on
Blimey,
that one.
it
I'm
better be.
still looking forward to it. I'm
Yeah,
very
oh,
much looking
definitely.
forward
That
to
was
it.
one I was quite hyped to see. Actually, I
Yeah.
I I was, yeah, surprised that sort of how much work they done with the community and listened, made a big sort of change. They sort of they worked with a lot of the community to actually refine what the end product was going to be. So I'm kind of I'm kind of psyched to see that up and running. I'm actually quite jealous you got one of those.
I mean, I will get one of those eventually. We'll see. But it is definitely one of those that I'm expecting is just sort of pull out of the box and it's ready to go, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way they've designed it and everything else. It looks like there shouldn't be a lot to do. You wouldn't expect to be getting it in kit form and having to put it all together.
No, no, it does look like it'd be a complete unit, much like the Mark Forge and Stratasys type things, you know.
Yeah, not get spanners out and send you a whole toolkit and some
Yeah,
colory weird
yeah.
booklet.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
but
no,
then also its price tag reflects that as well. I mean
yeah, for
the
sure. It's not.
Kickstarter had a price on it, but the retail price is going to be what, about 800 900 quid. So
Yeah, I think it was on the higher end of sort of
mm,
domestic printers, wasn't it? As such. Um, yeah, I'm just hoping, obviously, when it arrives, that it is worth that price tag.
mm, yeah,
I really
absolutely.
is. It ticked a lot of boxes. That one, a lot
Mm.
of boxes.
Well,
So
it definitely the claims were there. The
yeah,
claims were there, and the video evidence and everything seemed to support it quite nicely as well. Like,
yeah,
I think partially some of it is obviously they designed, built, and tested a
yeah.
thing, and then from feedback, they've gone back to the drawing board on several of the like the frame components for repositioning stuff
Yeah,
and respecifying some things.
the
So
screen and things was a big one, wasn't it? They altered the placement on the screen a couple of times and brought it out the enclosure because originally they had it inside and
mm,
yeah. So they've certainly done a lot of research on it and a lot of trial and error, I think.
they certainly have, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
It
that's
was
going to be interesting.
yes,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. That's for sure.
yes, yes, yes.
So I had my first real setback with the Hornet.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so we've got the we're going back and having a little look at the Hornet here.
Yeah, we'll have a quick brief talk on the Hornet. I had
Yeah,
my first clog. I don't
right.
usually get. I don't often get that many clogs. I'm quite lucky. Touch wood. I don't get a mass amount of cloggage. But I did this time,
Mm,
and it was a head scratcher. It was, yeah. Basically, with the design with that umbilical cord, if you like, where the um, Bowden tube is encased with the electrics to the hot end. Well, basically, it means you can't heat the hot end and remove the Bowden.
yeah. So I think first of all, for the people out there in TV land, um, maybe we should just quickly go over what you mean when you say clog, because obviously you're able to do things like a cold pull, like that's
Mm.
still possible, yes?
Yeah. A cold pull to a degree is still possible because the extruder, the BMG that feeds up through the umbilical cord into the hot end, where it heats up and
Mm,
generally pushes out. You can hold the handle and pull back your filament as such and
yeah.
try release the clog.
But in
Well,
this case, you weren't able to release. the where it had got stuck in the nozzle.
No, it basically got stuck. I think it must have been on a retraction as it were coming back, but it stuck so hard that I think it was sort of expanded in the piece of PTFE that's in the hot end.
Yes,
Got like
because in the artillery hot end, you effectively have the hot end fix. You've got a captive piece of
oh
PTFE
yeah,
that is trapped between the top of the hot end and the bottom of the nozzle.
that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So
And then
basically,
the you have the Bowden tube, which is a separate piece, but also is an umbilical that contains all the
all the
electrics.
electrics. Basically, the Bowden sticks out very slightly on the umbilical, and when you wind that down, it compresses it against like a ringlet, if you like, inside the hot end.
Hmm.
And then the other side of the ringlet is the other piece of Bowden that's inserted in the hot end,
Hmm.
which is compressed with the nozzle.
And
So,
the umbilical carries power to the breakout board.
yeah, basically the umbilical controls everything on that carriage. So
Mm.
your fans, your thermostat, your heat element, um, your part cooling, pretty much everything that's on a 3D printing carriage is controlled through that umbilical.
Okay.
So basically, doing a cold pull wouldn't work because
Right.
it was trapped the opposite side of on the obsolete bit of PTFE, if you like.
Yeah.
So
So it requires the complete breaking down of the hot end, basically.
yeah, more or
Yeah.
less. I mean, what I managed to do in the end was to heat it more or less to PETG levels, undo the hot end umbilical and the other side, and literally manage to manipulate it out. But it did mean I had to swap the hot end, the actual nozzle as well.
Yeah, it was
Um,
just not savable, basically.
yeah, it was just well, I will save it. I'll take it to work and I'll work some magic and I will
Well, I mean,
save it.
ultimately it's just a
Yeah,
nozzle and they're consumable anyway. But
replaceable. It's yeah,
the point being is that on a conventional design, the thermostat and the heat block are separately powered,
yeah,
and because the wires are separate to the Bowden, you can heat it up and
separate.
disassemble it.
Yeah, I mean the flaw with it being is because they've wrapped the Bowden around it within the electric.
Mm.
Um, you're sort of confined with what you can do there.
Right,
Um,
okay, I got
the only way you can do it is to overheat it, take it apart, and by the time you've taken that part apart, it's probably about the right temperature.
Right.
You see
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
gotcha.
It's probably dropped to PLA rather tthan staying hot.
Yeah, I
So
gotcha.
yeah, that was my big downfall this week. That actually, because that was a proper head scratcher.
So, couple of things off the back of that then. One, have you spoken to Artillery about this?
I've not yet. I've not. I'm actually going to reach out to Artillery about it in the next day or so. It only happened sort of beginning of this week.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, yesterday I was uncontactable. If you like, I was on a hospital run for a family member, so that was
Mhm.
pretty much yesterday tied up.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, I will contact my contacts there, and I will bring up the issue and see what they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really, and I
I
will.
mean, in general, the idea of the umbilical looks like a good idea because it makes everything very neat.
Yeah,
But
I actually really like it because in print, everything's held together really well.
mm,
You haven't got all those silly cable ties and connections and all the rest. It's all done away with. Everything is really uniform.
yep,
When there's an issue on the hot end,
you're
it's
stuck.
a lot of work.
Yep.
It's a lot of work. It's a bit. Yeah. I think once you've got the grips of it and you get it in your head on how to do it, it's not too bad.
Mm.
But the initial first time, you scratch your head a lot, or you think about throwing the printer out the window. You do the normal things, the panic, the rat.
So
When you get
the next big thing then is how does that affect its score in its current state?
um, to be honest, the umbilical, the benefit of the umbilical is about equal to the disadvantage with the umbilical,
Mm,
if I'm honest, because I I'm not getting any issues with like the Bowden clogging up or drying out or anything. I've not had any of that side whatsoever. It's been so reliable
mm,
um, that if that's the biggest issue with it, it's not too bad. It's only the initial first time that you think, Christ, this is going to be a nightmare. Once you've worked it out, it's actually not too bad.
yep.
It
Yeah.
is.
So the effectively the hardest part is trying to clear the jammed material, and once that's clear, you
Yeah.
can heat the hot end up again, take the
Yeah.
nozzle out, change the nozzle, and you're away.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it probably took me in the end when got it in my head what I was doing and I actually put the tools on and all the rest of it. It probably took me 10 minutes. I
Mm.
mean, that was it was an easy 10 minutes. It wasn't a hard, stressful occasion. Everything come
Okay.
apart nicely. It went back together nicely. I must admit, the breakout board is so well thought out. You've actually got two connections on one side, which is your fan and your heat block. And then you've got a fan and the thermostat on the other side. They all just unclip. You can leave the two fans in and it holds it.
Yep.
So you drop the casing off and it holds it. It's thought out really well. Um, and I think because it's thought out so well and implemented so well,
Yep.
it's not a major disaster.
Mm.
I think if it was designed any differently, it would become an issue.
Yep.
But they have actually really sort of put their heads together and they've located everything nicely. It's set out well. It serves a purpose the way they've done it.
Have you had any problems with the captive PTFE? Has that needed changing or anything?
I've not had one yet. See, I'm
No.
running two bits of captive. I've got the captive in the hot end itself.
Yep.
And then I've actually got I don't know whether it's meant to be in there or not, but I've got a captive bit in the extruder.
Right.
Just in going into the extruder. Just almost like a guide is what I'm using it as.
Right. Okay.
Because the filament's back here and the extruder's here, it tells up like that.
Yeah. But that's not
It's not
part of
doing
the.
anything.
Yeah.
It's not doing anything important. I've just put it in there just to feed it, help it feed in.
Yeah. But by the captive PTFE, I mean the
No,
lining of the hot end lining.
not had any issue with it.
Yeah.
No, I've not
Okay.
had any issue with it. I mean, I actually on that clog, I freed the clog. I took the hot end off, took the captive bit out, checked it over. I reused the same bit. It's back in there.
Yeah. Do you flip it over?
Yeah, turned it over. It checked it, made sure it weren't dirty, flipped it over, put it back in, off it went.
Okay.
And it's still running lovely. It's still
Nice.
running lovely. I've
Nice. And
altered the
that's got to be what, about was it 5-6 weeks of solid
yes,
running now?
yeah. I mean, it's been I've tweaked the slicer a bit, the profile a bit,
Mm.
um, because their profile, as you see, it's excessively fast. It's running 70 millisecond, 80 millisecond, and then
Mm.
like I think it was 150 mil on travel.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I always set my travel to about 200 mil.
that's about 150, I think, each as
Yeah.
standard, and that's on their normal profile and their slow profile, and their fast one's crazy. That's just loopy.
Mm.
Um, when I went into the profile, it's got a lot of weird things set up, like combing on infill and all sorts. Now,
Right.
on their slice profiles that they have set, it's moving so quick with that combing. What I found is it was ripping up quite a lot of the infill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was making weird holes and spaces in the infill, and um, it wasn't great.
Okay.
So what I ended up doing, I've knocked the combing off. I've reverted back to my universal profile that
Mm.
I've got, and I tweaked my universal to up the speeds a little bit, and now it's running absolutely lovely. It's doing big overhangs. It's doing all the nice bridging and everything else. So I'm actually quite impressed. To be
Mm.
fair,
And what speed are you running it at now?
I'm actually 120 millisecond on infill, and I'm running 60 mil on print speed.
I'm
So I've dropped back.
I'm continually very impressed by the fact that that thing is still doing very well.
Oh, it's
Like,
doing very, very well. I think there's room for me to knock it up, definitely on speed. The reason
mm,
I dropped down to that is because I was doing some quite intense um, cliff faces and things like that, and they had some weird wood coming out the sides and quite weird overhangs. So I slowed it down for let's knock it to sort of in between what it was set at and what I generally print at. And yeah, it's proving that it can handle it quite happily.
nice. Well,
Quite happy.
that's really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm guessing because at first, when it said about the upside down Z axis, I thought, yeah, that's a bit gimmicky or whatever. I can't see what difference that's going to make, but it must make some difference because I'm not getting ringing. I'm not getting any ring or anything like that, and it's
I'd
single Z.
I'd
So,
be I'd be interested more as to the I don't think your Z axis is going to be your Z axis
I
isn't
mean,
going to affect your ringing at all. That's in your usually in your acceleration and jerk response.
yeah, settings, yeah. I mean, I've actually
Do they
I've,
do they obviously is it run on Marlin again?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
I
on
believe it's a
Clipper
Marlin.
or anything.
No, I believe it's a Marlin based. I believe.
Mm,
I haven't overly gone in and done much to it. I still haven't tuned it as such.
mm,
I haven't even calibrated it. It's running on point. So when it left the factory, they must actually. I think they must test them and calibrate them to a degree because this is doing a cube bang on.
mm.
Um, it's I had one side which was point 0.2 out, which is not really here or there on a cube, is it?
No,
You can live with a
no.
point
I
0.2.
mean, what 1%,
Yeah,
1% deviation. I mean, we could that could be a freak occurrence.
yeah. So I can live with that, and it's yeah, it's still knocking it out of the park. It's finishing smooth.
Mm.
I'm not missing layers or anything. It's done exactly what it says on the tin. It's classed as a budget beginner printer, an entry level printer, and yeah, it's a very good entry level printer. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
very
to be
impressed.
fair, out of all the ones that we've looked at so far, that is the one that really, really piques my interest.
Yeah,
I mean,
it,
while we're looking back at the past entries, how's the Fuku's doing?
I've not actually done a huge amount on the Fuku's yet.
No?
No, because I ended up getting the Fuku's, it worked out my enclosure was too small for the Fuku's.
Of course it was.
Obviously. So it meant I had to print 4 brand new 100 mil razors, um, which take quite a long time each. So I put them onto the Hornet to print, and it actually took 4 hours off the print time and printed them really well. So I've done those, and then it meant obviously taking all my ender out, the rail out, my filament holder out, pretty much half my enclosure come apart to then get rebuilt. And then I had to work out where the hell am I putting all my filament spools and all the rest. And I've had to redesign
Yeah.
side hold.
This is partially why I have never built an enclosure.
Yeah, well,
I don't think I've currently got my forever printer set up, so
initially it was to run 2 enders.
yep.
It was only ever going to be for 2 enders.
Mm.
So my Ender Pro used to sit on the bottom, and I had an Ender 3 standard on top.
Mm.
So the way I had the middle compartment set out was to one feed the top into a Bowden and then direct down into a direct drive.
So both the Fuku's and the Hornet take up more volume than the Ender 3.
Height wise, yeah.
Right, okay.
Height-wise.
Especially when you reach the top of the travel.
Yeah. So basically the Hornet is huge. The
Right.
Hornet's a big printer. For a printer, it's got quite a wide footprint and it's got a tall footprint, and then you've got that umbilical cord that passes your gantry point.
Right, okay.
So you
And
need
yet the build volume is no bigger, if not slightly smaller than Ender 3. Because it's listed as 220 by 220, and the Ender 3 is listed as 225 by 225.
the Hornet 250 or
Yeah, 250 tall, but it's 220 by 220
yeah.
bed.
Yeah. So the thing is as well with the Hornet, you've then got that big spool holder on the side, and you've got that injection molded case for it, which is quite big and chunky. So the footprint side of it is quite big because it's quite a depth to the base.
Yeah.
So yeah, the width wise, I've managed to, and the depth, I've managed to keep the same. It's the height of the enclosures I've had to alter quite a lot. So now instead of running 220 heights, I've got 250 heights in there and a 220. So I've got 3 printers in an enclosure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've spent most of my week altering enclosures, and thinking of ways to hold spools of filament to feed printers. So yeah,
Broom
yeah.
handle.
Well,
That's
funny you should say that. I have actually got a broom handle spool holder, which is my partial spools at the top of my enclosure. I don't know if you can see right up the top there.
yep. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's a printed. It's almost like a wardrobe coat rail
Yeah.
hook. You know,
Yeah.
the like the ringlet jobs,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
two curved ones, and I've just got a broom handle, and it goes through and holds 6 or 7 rolls up there.
Oh, fantastic.
It works. It works. That was originally inside my printer, and that's what fed both of my enders.
Hmm.
So I've just moved it around, and that now just holds my
Repurpose that a little bit.
yeah, yeah. And then I'm running 2 filler dryers now. One to my ender at the moment, and one to the Fukus.
Hmm.
And then the Hornet has got its weird spool holder on the side that clamps in, and because the feed on that is upwards rather than downwards, it's a
Yeah.
little bit of a funky feed on that one.
Nice.
That's
Funky
my
moped.
only. Yeah, it's the only bit I'm not 100% sure on,
Right.
if I'm to be honest, because it's only because where I've got the printer located, because it's in my lowest enclosure. I almost have to lie on the floor to feed it up and see what I'm doing. But that's purely
It sounds insanely convenient.
yeah, it's only on me. So
Yeah.
if you ever want to see a bloke lying on the floor trying to feed a filament into a printer, it happens here.
This is the place to be.
Yeah, this is the place. It's in Devon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, the focus I have done, I did do the test cube, and it printed phenomenally well.
Yeah.
I done a whole pause and continue in middle, and the only thing I'm griping over something that most printers do, to be honest. Majority of printers, they leave that little ridge where it resumes.
Yep.
Other than that, it was awesome, and it's still come out at the right sizes, and it's still smooth as smooth. I actually really like it. It took a little bit of sussing getting the images onto the SD card, because you have to add a bit onto Cura out of the Cura marketplace, and then you add the G code in, and basically whenever you slice, you can slice the TFT file to your SD card.
Right.
And basically what it does, when you go to select your print on your on the Fukus, it shows a picture of the print.
Right.
Very similar to a resin printer,
Okay.
which I really like. I'm really impressed with that feature. That's really tickled me, because I've got probably 8 or 9 SD cards, and most of them are on the go at least once in a week. And each of my SD cards probably has about 30 files on.
Right. Okay.
So for me, for the way I work, all the different testing and different parts of prints, I generally load on different cards, because I'll have one go in one printer and one go in the other printer, and then so on and so on.
Yeah.
So for me, if I can scroll and see a picture, that's the one, click and go on. I don't have
Yes.
to search through and try and
I mean
read.
that thing on the Fukus where it shows the preview is just, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I want to know, is that a bespoke thing that they have done? If so, why is it not on? If not, why is it not on more things?
I've not seen it on any other
Any.
printer so far, other than resins. Resins is natural on a resin. You can get the picture up.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of resin printers, you can actually get the picture as you go through. It is on the marketplace, and I've learned how to do it now on the marketplace. So I'm wondering, I am actually toying with trying it on an ender print, on my big tree tech just to see if it pulls the picture up.
Mm. Yeah, no, I'd be very interested to know because I would then like to do that on my ones.
Yeah, I'm interested. It's only converted to a TFT file, so as long as if I can't see why not,
Mm.
it should be able to work. It's something to play with.
Mm.
We shall see.
Yeah, no, it'd be that'd be very interesting if it could be made more universal to be able to put it on anything that has like a TFT touchscreen or
Yeah,
a colored thing.
I think I think it should be doable. I just if is Simon still in the chat?
There are he hasn't spoken for a little bit, but he may well be
If
there. I
he is
can't
in the
see.
chat, Simon, is that doable? You are
Yes,
the
he is
whiz.
there.
So, can you? Is it possible to do the thing that Fuku's have done, where you save a TFT file through Cura and then say Big Tree Tech or whoever else's screen will actually show that picture of what's on the SD card? Food for
We'll
thought.
we'll s- we'll see what
Food
he comes
for thought.
back with.
Yeah, food for thought. So,
Mm.
yeah, that feature I absolutely love. I think it's probably my favourite feature on the Fuku's, to be honest.
That really is a highlight. I mean, like being a he says, I know there is a way to derive one of the Big Tree Tech display firmware that has the preview in it.
There
So,
you go. So it
um,
is possibly doable.
so if you have the Big Tree Tech aftermarket TFT upgrades, then potentially so.
Yeah,
Potentially
yes,
so.
that might be a case of not for me because the
Well,
problem is,
I'm just gonna put this out there, Simon. If that is possible and we can put our heads together and make it happen, I would love to create a how-to video to make it happen.
yeah,
that would be absolutely amazing.
if we can do it
He
between us, then we'll
he
get
does
that out.
say it's not easy to implement it though. We'll dive into it in a while.
Yeah. So you'll have it done by 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you'll be done by lunchtime. It's fine. Now remember, top tip, nothing worth doing was ever easy.
Exactly that. Exactly that. um, yeah. So my plan is I have got a plan. Um, this weekend that will be printing something big.
Ooh.
I don't know what. Well, I sort of know what. I've got it in mind, but I want to put it through its paces this weekend,
Mm,
and next week or the week after next, we can actually turn around and go, yeah, actually the figures is good, or eh,
mm.
it needs work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing about the cool wall that we are running is
Yeah,
that these printers are in our workshops and being used regularly. They're not just being put in, tested and dumped. These
yeah,
are actually being used to see, just how they last over
yeah.
time as well.
I mean, so far to be honest, so far I would say the Hornet is just tearing it up. It's
Mm,
tearing it up. Out of all the
mm,
ones we've tried, the Hornet is holding up. It's doing what it should, and yeah, I'm enjoying using it.
mm,
The only thing is that umbilical, and the screen is a bit laggy. If you've got a full SD card, it's slow scrolling.
right.
If you've got one or two files on an SD card, it chews it up. It loves it. It's brilliant.
Is it a
So
32-bit board on that?
it's a 32-bit board, but for some reason just slows up that little bit. I mean, it's not usable. It's just a bit sluggish.
It's just
And
that's kind of first world problems type thing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, once you click print, it does exactly what it's meant to do. It's just the scrolly through all your files on an SD card. But that's my problem anyway, because I have so many bloody files on an SD card.
Well, yeah, there is always that. I mean, to be fair, I find that once I get to above like 15 or 20, I find that so in our situation, there's lots of things that we print time and time again. So I have a bunch of standard prints, and then there's those odd prints that get put on.
Randoms.
And then I find that I have to go through and clear up the card a little bit, you know. I should probably have a card for standard prints and a card for odd things, but
keep saying to myself, I'm going to get a card just for the one-off. It never happens. It never happens. Because you end up having something on in a rush and you're like...
To be fair, when it comes to SD cards for machines, I'm still on both of my Creality machines running the card that came with it. And considering the amount of people that say their card has died, I mean, the Ender 3, 2 years that's been going now.
I've had one card that died, and that was a G-Tech. The rest of the cards, I am still using every card that I've ever had.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go nuts with them and abuse them, they work.
No, you got to abuse them. You got to show them who's boss.
Okay,
got to show them who's boss.
Abuse them for the right things.
Yeah.
Not like put it through the washing machine to see if it can swim.
Oh, you know.
That generally kills
fair
them.
play. Fair play.
Yeah.
Soapy bubble look.
Yeah. It's my favourite one. That is the cleanest.
Yes.
So yeah, I've got plans for the Fukus, and definitely have lots more installed for the Hornet. Now, my Ender, I've been so dead against moving that because it's just been doing what it should do. Obviously, I have redone my enclosure and it chucked its dummy out of its pram. It didn't like me at all. It's been an absolute pain to level. It's just not wanted to level at all. Even to the point I've gone back to an old mag bed. And
it's funny actually. Funny you should say that. My one has been doing funny things lately. It's like almost every time it starts off, it's a slightly different height, having to tweak it. And I'm like, how is that even possible?
I'm like,
how is that even possible? You have a solid Z stop. What is up with you?
It's just been it's been an ass, if I'm honest, for an entire week. It's just been like no. Once it's past the first layer, lovely. First layer, it's been horrid.
Nice.
So I just got it, just got it where it's sweet again. And I've won a new printer.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you get this time?
Something big.
Big?
Big.
Is it bigger than that?
Sort of, but no. It's a 3x3x4, I believe.
3x3. Okay, so you're slightly smaller on the build plate size, same on the height.
Yeah, it's a CR10 size, but it's not a CR10. So basically, what this means is after doing all my enclosure and all the rest, the Ender's going to end up going in a box, and the top enclosure is going to have to come off. So, yeah, that's going to be this week's fun. Rechanging that around, yay! Yeah, I actually won a Pyramid 3D version 1.1. Now,
is Pyramid the name of the company?
Yeah, Pyramid is the name of the printy company. The printer, I believe. The company was Fast to Buy is where it's from. Oh God.
Unovo?
Sorry?
Unovo?
No. Jeez. It's quite big. I mean, it was funny because it come in another box, believe it or not, and then the other box showed up and it was huge. My missus went mental, and I'm like, yeah, it's not that big, and opened the box up and there's another box inside.
It really...
ToAuto making simple.
ToAuto. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I have found it. I will bring that up on screen. Hopefully now, if OBS is going to play ball. Yay! It worked.
Yay!
Hooray!
They have got.
Oh wow! $299.
Yeah.
For something with that build size and direct drive as well.
Yeah. They've actually got two versions of this. They have another version which is what they class as the upgraded, and it has a Titan extruder, it has a BL touch, it has all the extra little gadgets and lovely wannabe things, and it isn't much more expensive.
Well, this says the ToAuto Pyramid A1.1, all metal extruding unit, Titan direct drive, resume printing, filament detection, industrial grade mute system. So silent board.
I would imagine silent board.
Yes. Diagonal drawbar triangle structure.
So basically, it's got a Z brace.
Yes. Which one of those things needs?
Yeah.
You've got to have it. Like to be without them is just no good.
Frankenstein, Simon will tell you I learned the hard way with that. We built it all and then I realised it was wobbling like mad and had to do a Z brace.
So that is what it says on here for the ToAuto A1.1, and that's $299.
The good thing is, anybody wanting one, I'm in communication with the guys over at ToAuto, and they are doing me some deals, and we have UK stock.
Oh, okay.
13 units in the UK at the minute, and they're going to do a deal for 13 people who want one to get one. All you got to do is go through under the hot end and let me know. I'll put you in contact, and they will look after you. So,
do we have any details on what that deal might be, or is it to be confirmed?
It's to be confirmed. They are actually working on the deal. That's something I've been trying to set up today with them.
Okay.
So it is in the pipeline. If you are interested in one, drop me a message on Under the Hot End, and I will do my best to facilitate that one for you and see what we can get sorted.
Just looking at the bad boy and wondering, it's a shame it's not that little bit extra. 350.
Yeah, that would have been
350
nice.
or above would be better.
Funnily enough, I actually won the Creality CR10 V2, I think it was. But they had no UK stock. And they said they had this. Would this be okay? And I was like, oh, that looks interesting, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it looks basically exactly the same. only it does have the
Extra
upgraded
bit.
direct drive extruder.
I mean, oh, okay. Okay. Is there what's an A2.1?
An A2.1.
Yeah.
Have a look.
I wonder if there's an A2.1 because it looks like they've sent me the A2.1, not the A.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Hmm. It
Let's
looks
see.
exactly the same. So yeah,
Molding.
spread fun of DIY. Share your story and ideas on our Facebook page.
Interestingly enough, these guys also do smelting equipment.
Yeah, this is how I first actually joined their Facebook group. Actually, um, I seen a load of smelting stuff, and I thought, "Oh, this is fun," and I joined just because it was more to do with my job at work.
Hmm.
And then they started doing more 3D printers, and I was like, "This is actually more what I do at home." So yeah, they actually do metalworking tools and machinery as well as 3D printing. Now they're
So
doing
it's interesting. So this website is the company is ToAuto,
yeah,
right? And they've got the ToAuto pyramid, but then they're also selling the Creality
reality.
machines.
Yeah, so basically, I know middle of the week, the beginning of the week, they actually visited Creality as well. If you go onto their Facebook group, um, they have actually been to Creality in the last week, and yeah, they I think they're working with Creality as a second a reseller maybe. Or they might have
So
even partnered up with them.
so there's an interesting thing going on here though. Just looking at their website, um, you've got the ToAuto FDM 3D printer Pyramid A1.1 Titan Silent Mud mainboard BL Touch at
For
when we
549.
click
I
on it,
noticed it.
$299, and then you scroll down, you've got the UK Pyramid A1.1 ToAuto 3D printer on sale from $230. Yet when you click on it, it's $550.
I know. I noticed this myself. I have actually had conversations with them if they can make it where it's in pounds for the UK. They are looking into it, but at the minute with their website provider, they're struggling to do it in pound, not dollar. It's all a
Right.
little bit weird. So
But
it is something
what does that mean though? I
they
mean,
are looking into doing a section purely for the UK with fixed prices.
okay. Well, if
It's
I check the price on Amazon,
yeah,
currently unavailable.
fair.
There you go.
Okay,
So
that might
that's
be because they're actually doing the UK deal on Amazon at the minute. Because they haven't sold in the UK as I know of yet.
hmm,
Hence, this is out of the first shipment to the UK.
right.
Um,
So does that means that the UK units are more expensive? What does this mean?
I'm not entirely sure. It's all a bit bizarre.
Yeah.
Um, I w- I will. I am literally in the process of discussing things with them at the minute for the
I mean,
UK.
my assumption would be that this then includes things like import duty and stuff.
You would like to think it's all involved. I mean, basically, the UK. What they've done is they've got stock in the UK at the moment.
So that's £400.
Hmm. Yeah.
by going by the price in dollars. Although it says sale $549.99 from an original price of $549.99.
I know,
So
yeah.
uh, I think there's possibly a misprint on their
Yeah.
website somewhere.
I think
So
that's still in the go because I know they were actually trying to redo the website to have UK pricings today.
right.
So they're probably in the mix of trying to suss if they can do it under pound rather than the dollar.
Mm.
So it's something I will discuss with them in the next day or so. And I will get some, you know, resolution on it at least. So we'll get it so I can give a definite yes, that's the wrong price, or no, that is the right price.
Right.
I will endeavour to get that sorted. Now, the one thing I will say with this kit as well, it's not a plug and play. This is a builder's printer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to build.
Yes,
It's
and I mean a printer at that size for that price, you would kind of expect that to be at the lower lower end of things.
yeah. I mean, you actually get a sample, which is nice. You do get a sample with it. um, yeah, I mean, you're getting bags.
Oh wow.
You know,
Oh
um,
really?
it's a builder's printer. It's not
Oh oh wow.
okay. I've got
The first step.
American plug. Okay, that's a win. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of build. It's not. I think that video there does actually show the majority of the build process. I mean, it's nice quality. Not gonna lie,
Mm.
that is nice quality. That's full anodized, painted, anodized.
Yeah, I
Al-
mean that aluminium profile stuff is it's a bit dark where you've got that pointed, unfortunately there, Martin. It's a bit hard to see.
Hang on a minute. Yeah, I mean it's nice quality. It's not.
Ah, that's better. Right, yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice quality. I think it's powder coated. To be honest, it might be anodized, but if it's anodized, that's a deep anodized.
Yeah.
So yeah, um,
Yeah,
it's not a
your steel parts will be powder coated.
yeah.
That's for sure.
That's definite powder coated. Definite.
And I mean
It,
your aluminium profiles are pretty much of a muchness.
yeah, it's not going to be a case of you're going to order this printer and it'll take you 2 seconds to get printing.
No, it's going to be one of those like the Ender where it can take you a day to get going, basically.
Yeah, I mean to dial it in and play around, you're going to be looking at about I don't know a good few hours just to get yourself there, aren't you?
Set yourself a day aside for setting it up and then calibrating and testing,
Yeah, I
basically.
mean
So, I mean, you can do it quick, but really, do
you're
you
better
want
off
to
taking the
just
time.
throsh these things together? You know,
You're better off
that's
taking your time.
yeah.
I mean, that's going to be after fun. For me, I love it. I get getting stuck into building a printer. I love it.
Hmm.
A, you can work out how it all goes together. B, you can work out that looks like a suspect part. You know, you get a
It's
feel for what you're putting.
it's very interesting because, you know, like 10 years ago, there was a lot of stuff you had to really do yourself.
Yeah,
A couple of years ago, a kit like this is what you would expect when you bought a printer for home use.
yeah.
And now we're seeing the emergence of the things like the Fucus, which is open your box, put a couple of screws in, and go.
I mean, that's a second bag of bolts, nuts, screws.
Hmm.
You know, so um, to put it into some perspective, you're going to have at least 30 bolts to do up.
Yes.
You know, it's not going to be 5 minutes. If you want a 5-minute printer, get a Fuku's.
Or an
Seriously.
artillery.
Or an artillery. You know,
Yeah.
If you want a big build plate printer, this is going to be good.
Mm.
I've got a feeling this is going to be a great little unit, if I'm honest, because the quality of it so far is really nice. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's been packaged excessively well. As long as the running system, you know, the firmware and everything is half decent, this is going to be a nice printer out of box.
Can we have you got easy enough access to the power supply there? What sort of power supply have they got on there? So your bed is still as in one piece then?
Yeah, so the base, see, there's all your gantry size.
Yep. Jeez.
The bed is one piece. So yeah, you've got a 350-watt power supply on there. 360-watt, 24-volt.
Yeah. What's the manufacturer?
Entirely sure.
Because obviously we had a big thing with Creality originally, where they were using lower grade power supplies and then switched up to Meanwells.
Yeah,
because
it's
they
not
kept dying.
certainly not a Meanwell. It's not a Meanwell.
Is it a named brand?
It is a
power
name.
supply?
It's just upside down, and I can't make it out. It has got a name on. I'm going to have to get a picture and work that one out, I think, and I can bring you back on that one. Now, I did have a sudden thought because I suddenly thought, well, this is a brand I've not really heard of. Has it got thermal runaway protection?
Well, this is the big thing, isn't it?
So, I actually got in contact and I sort of took it up with them late last night, believe it or not. It suddenly crossed my mind late last night because I got nothing better to do than think thermal runaway. Jesus, what is wrong with me? So yeah, I contacted them and I said, has this got thermal runaway? Because it is actually quite a big thing on 3D printers. And they were like, is it? Yeah. And she went to town, actually. I'll give her a due. She went to town. She got hold of the technician. She said, I will find out. I want to know because I want to take this very seriously. Fair
Yep.
play to her. She got hold of the head technician, went through it all with the head technician, and yes, it has thermal runaway protection.
Yeah. And I mean,
So,
to be fair, it is just part of the firmware, and that just needs to be turned on. But it's it would be a shame for things to ship without it these days.
yeah, I don't agree with this. Let's ship a printer out and all the rest of it. That yes, it has got it, but we've turned it off. Or yes, it's got it, but we haven't installed it. Well, come on. It's such a big thing. It's
Yeah.
so simple to do, but
Yeah. I
it's
mean, health and safety.
exactly. I mean, let's have a burnt down house for the sake of 10 minutes work.
Oh yeah.
You know. So yeah, she was really good because I weren't expecting to hear back from her until sort of when this aired today.
Yep.
And I woke up at 6:30 this morning like a madman, like I always do, and there was a message already waiting for me. Yes, I can confirm it is thermal runaway protection is enabled from the box. Couldn't ask for more than that. So far, yeah, so good. And I'm really actually looking forward to it because I've got a couple of Star Wars helmets that I've been gagging to print for a long time, and I'm like, well,
Don't
the
tell
end.
me, don't tell me you're printing a Mandalorian helmet.
No.
Good.
No. Well, I might print one eventually, but no, not
Oh,
at the moment.
2020 called. They want their stuff back.
Yeah, but I just want one.
No,
I just
everybody's
want
got one now.
Yeah, I know. I
Boring.
haven't.
It's boring.
No, I have actually something a bit more special than a Mandalorian helmet that I want to print.
Nice.
I have several. I have actually probably nearly every helmet for Star Wars to print.
Nice.
But yeah, that's one thing that I wanted to do. There's one particular one that I've wanted for a long, long time, and I really have fancied it, and I've been holding myself back because the ender's way too small, and I didn't want to chop it up into millions of little bits. So
You know, that's one of the things that I have not printed on the massive printer that I've got is any kind of wearables like that.
I know I built the Frankenstein with Simon and Aina, and I was always like, I want to do a helmet. I want to do a helmet. Then things moved excessively quickly and changed in my life at the time, so I never got to print any form of helmet. And then I ended up with the enders and doing other things, and yeah, I've never actually done a full scale helmet. I've done a mini helmet, but I can't get my head in it, so it's kind of
I
pointless.
am not allowed to make comments on that.
Oh, on what mini helmets? It's a finger helmet.
I'm not allowed to make comments on that.
Holding him back so hard. Look at him.
We will get thrown off of the internet.
Yeah, so that is my plan. I am going to do a helmet this year.
I am not allowed to comment. And he shall be known as Mr. Helmet.
Mr. Helmet. I'll be Mr. Helmet. It's better than what I
You-
get called at work.
He's not just a helmet, he's the helmet, and that's Mr. Helmet to you. Yeah.
So,
Oh, can you do Dark Helmet from Spaceballs?
yes, that would be cool. That would be actually quite cool.
That would be cool. The only thing is, you'll probably need about a 700 build plate, though.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get it on this one. Maybe we can split it into 4. And just about fit it on then. Diagonal.
Yep, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
So I've got
Nice. So that will be coming up. For those in TV land, somehow I've managed to wangle going away with my parents actually for another little holiday. I will be heading to Portsmouth Naval Dockyard Museum next week. So there will
you could always come down to Tor Bay, and we've got like Plymouth Naval Yard.
Ooh, ooh. I'm definitely gonna leg it down to your end of the country at some point.
We've got Dartmouth as well. Dartmouth Naval
But
Yard is literally on my doorstep.
nice. But yeah, okay, that seems to be the end of that instructional video. So there won't be unless Martin can blag Lucas or one of the others into doing some show, there won't be another one next week. So that will give Martin ample time to build that bad boy.
You say
and,
that.
and give it a run.
I have got plans. I might be on a live with Ragtag at some point.
Ooh.
At some point. I don't know whether it's going to be this week. It might be a couple of weeks' time, but I will be jumping into a live with Rag at some point.
Nice.
Because
He has also said he's got an Ender 7 coming, which he would be up for coming and having a chat about on here too.
Yeah, which
So,
I'm totally up for. Yeah.
that would be very cool to get him on board and check
Yeah.
that out. So yeah, no, I look forward to seeing what a new competitor budget large format printer comes
Yeah.
out like.
I
Um,
will. I will have it up and running in the next day or so. It will
so
be.
there are looking at the design of it,
Yeah.
and this is my critical eye. There are a couple of concerns that I have about a printer that prints that large for that price point. One, quality of power supply. On the
Mhm.
larger printers, a quality power supply is absolutely key because
Yeah.
of the amount of power taken to heat the bed,
Yeah.
which is what causes the power supplies to fail more regularly because of the amount of draw and length of time of draw. Um, the next thing that
Quite
strikes me
interesting.
instantly about that design is that it still just has a single 40 millimeter rail for the bed.
Yeah.
And that is a major concern to me because we
Right.
already know how wobbly a bed can be at 230 mil on a 40 mil rail, and you are suddenly adding an extra 60 mil to it
It's
and
actually quite
looking.
solid by the feel of it, but we can't go anywhere off of that. We, you
No,
know.
and I mean, let's face it, we're talking about microns here, so
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure. Um,
it's not really something that you're going to feel. It's going to be something
I
that
mean, just in
reality.
general, it's not got a lot of that going on as it stands. So
I
it
mean
could be,
that's why I love the frame design on the 5 Plus.
yeah,
Like
yeah, because it's got that support.
the dual Z supported both sides and the bed doesn't move. It seems to be the kind of peak of what a large format printer
Well, it's got the
could do.
stability, isn't it? It's got nowhere it can
Yeah.
really go.
As a
Um,
minimum, on something with that bigger print bed, I would have liked to have seen a split rail
yeah, I mean, I've
because from the looks of it, it's got the yellow springs, so it has more heavy duty springs, which will mean that um, from the base plate to the bed plate is rigid, is going to be pretty stiff. But with the fact that it only has the single rail, that 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 makes the yellow springs almost irrelevant because the base plate can wobble.
funnily enough, um, on the Frankie,
The other thing being,
on the
sorry to cut you off there, is like on the artillery and the Fucus, course, you've got a big flat plate and the base rail is
yeah,
secured in more than one place, whereas this is only effectively you've got that great big bed rolling along a single rail that is only secured in the middle.
no, the single rail's actually got 2 points.
Oh, has it?
It's got
Where's the
two
other
drop
point?
beams. There's one. It's about that far apart. Um, on the base, and then that one comes down through and ties into both of them. You can't see
Okay,
it. You
I'm
see this
just trying to find a clearer picture here.
on the picture that's up at the minute on the channel. You got that? Yeah, there you go. You see the second one? No, go back to the last picture.
What, where it's on the bench?
Yeah,
Yep,
not that one. Not that one. Not that one. And where did it go? You had another picture that it was diagonal.
yep.
Well, you see this
It's
front
not very
rail?
clear.
No. Right, see the front rail?
Yep.
There's one
Oh
about
yeah, I
the
see. I
amount of
see.
second
There's
one.
two
So
rails
it's
in
a
there. Yeah.
span of about 8 inches maybe.
Okay, well that's not so bad then.
It's a
That's
bit
not
better.
so bad at all then.
And I don't know if
That will help a lot.
I'm not sure if it's fixed, but it might
I mean
actually be fine.
that really was one of the big decisions. Like when I went for the large format printer, one of the big deciding factors. I mean, for getting the 5 Plus, like, and for not getting the CR10, even though the CR10 had the max version long before the 5 Plus came out,
Yeah.
was quite simply the sliding bed
I
just
mean,
didn't seem like the right way to go.
I've got, as you know, well, as I've said previous, we made a complete Frankenstein out of multiple producers' parts, and we actually built off of a A30 original, which is um, a G-Tech printer, which is very similar to the CR10, if you like.
Mm.
And that runs a single rail through the middle through like a box frame with 2 rails on the inside, a bit like this one. And that one has actually been phenomenal. It
Mm.
The bed holds its place so well. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
I
mean, the
think
CR10 is a very popular printer,
mm,
and you don't
I
hear a
mean,
lot of horror stories. It just seems to me that that is the, if you look at the kinematics of the machine, that is your point of liability.
yeah, that is the Achilles heel on slide rail printers or slide bed printers. It is the probably worst point of the printer, if we're honest. It's a
Agreed.
part of the printer you're going to be playing with the most,
Absolutely.
adjusting, releveling. Um, even with a BL Touch, your BL Touch is going to be doing a lot of work. That is sort of one of those where it's the price point is a big key on it. Do
Yeah.
you spend the extra and get a frame printer? It's starting to come out now where they're becoming more common and actually better priced on the frames.
Mm.
You've got the new Ender series, haven't you, that's come out and
Yeah, but even then, the 7, from what I saw, it's like, okay, so it's Core XY, wicked. It's
mm,
got a weird triangular frame rather than a square one, but the important
yeah,
thing on that is it still only uses a single Z, and it's like, why?
why that was a bit of a
Why that cantilever bed design just seems flawed to me.
yeah
But
why not
I
have
mean,
it?
time will tell. Time will tell. But it
Yeah,
um
I mean, well, hopefully we're going to hear a bit about that
I
when
know in the early days of the Ender 5, the smaller version, the original,
yeah,
that cantilever bed caused a lot of problems,
yeah, yeah, it did. I mean, it,
especially when you were printing something that was taking a kilo of filament.
yeah, yeah,
Like it really did
pushed
cause a
out.
lot of
Yeah,
droop on the bed.
it did surprise me that they've actually gone down that route. It's a bit of a strange decision on something that's meant to be a benchmark printer. It's meant to be
Yeah, so
like,
it seems to me almost a step back.
yeah, I think it's almost like they spent the budget on everything else and then come to that second Z and they were just like, there ain't enough budget.
Mm,
It's weird because to most people they would be like, yeah, we'll put a second Z on this
mm.
for an extra couple of quid. It seems a little bit bizarre, really.
It
It,
does.
it,
I'll be interested in Ragtag's review of that actually,
yeah,
to
yeah, I'm looking forward to
see
it. I mean,
see what he reckons.
myself, and Ragtag are looking at doing a bit of a compilation soon. If everything goes to plan, we are looking at doing um, a bit of work together on a couple of things. So yeah, no, I'll definitely look forward to seeing what he comes up with there. That'll be interesting. But I am quite excited about this one. I'm so chuffed that I won it because I missed the draw at the time. I was dealing with human life situations. I was running to hospitals and things like that, and I missed the live. I just clicked to watch it and had to run to hospital. So I was like, oh well, there's one I've missed. And about an hour later, I got a message saying congratulations, and I was like, "For what? I've been hospital." And they were like, "You won first place." I went, "Oh, great! Place on what?" She was like, "Our printer." Oh, okay.
Excellent.
And
Okay. Brilliant.
yeah, so I felt a bit embarrassed about that and a bit foolish, and um, she said you won the CR10, and I was like, "Oh, winner." I said, "Are you sure I'm in the UK?" And she was like, "You're in the UK." Went, yeah. She went, oh, hang on. She said, "Oh, we
Yeah.
got a minute."
It's starting to get a bit frustrating about how limited availability a lot of these new companies are in the UK themselves.
We, we,
America and China, and potentially some of Europe. I mean, the Focus is Focus
right,
Germany, or is it
Germany.
actually a Chinese company?
Chinese company,
Yeah,
Chinese company, first ventured in America, and they've just released into Europe, and their main warehouse is Germany.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
what
The
happened?
limited availability in the UK is starting to get a bit frustrating for some of these machines because, like with the Artillery Hornet, it was like they're only just creeping into the market. Like with the Focus, they're only just creeping into the
Basically, what
UK.
happened is they launch generally in the USA.
Mm.
USA gets the first point because obviously it's a close country.
Yeah,
Um,
three
so
hundred and 60 million people as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's a
yeah,
big selling point. It's a good key. Funnily enough, there's a fair area in Australia as well. I believe. I think there's a big chunk go to Australia. But anyway, potentially it goes to America, and it's basically a test and playground over there. And then it will come to Germany for Europe, and UK tend to get most things last.
yay.
Yay, because we are like the awkward buggers, no doubt. And it's quite
What you
difficult.
mean? We expect things to just work?
Exactly. We're awkward.
Nice. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
like
want to
I'll
do what
take
they
that
say.
because I
Yeah,
kind of do just expect things to work.
exactly. I expect them to be as good as they possibly can be for the money you've paid for them.
It's interesting enough, actually. Like, so this is a bit of a sideline, but recently, so I do a bit of PC gaming, and I like space games, and I recently upgraded my joysticks, and I got a Satec X56,
Ooh,
and it's
that looks
awesome.
funny.
And oh yeah, like it's nice.
Well,
I
it's
like it.
all glowy and
There's
shiny. I like that sort of thing.
yeah. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing some QQ, which is a lot of fun. But the X56 has had a troubled history. Um, it's had very mixed reviews. And
Mm,
when you go on to some of like the forums about it, um, what I found was that in America, a company can pretty much give just a 30 or 90-day warranty and then say it's your problem.
yeah.
But when they come to the UK, they kind of they're obliged to
Well,
live up to a 1 to 2 year warranty
yeah,
minimum.
yeah. So that scale then moves up. So basically, the way I think they're using it or doing things, they're using America as their first test area, if you like. I could be wrong, guys. It's nothing against anybody or any country, but I think they trial run it, if you like, in the US. and then it slowly filters over to Europe, UK, etc., etc. As well as that, a lot of companies generally tend to find it quite hard to find storage warehouses in UK. So hence we end up getting a lot of Amazon stuff and that side of things, because obviously they ship to Amazon warehousing.
Yep.
And distribute direct from Amazon. You know, I've not got any problem with that whatsoever, to be honest. It would be nice if one come to the UK before anywhere else. That would be awesome. I'd be quite impressed with that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I don't mind if it comes before, after, later, whatever. It's just this whole
yeah,
thing of like, okay, so we're getting a load of stuff advertised or pushed towards us, or given things to review, but then you can't buy them, and that's
that's where it gets annoying. And what I generally try and do there, if I'm approaching a producer or a producer approaches me, I will generally say, is it available in the UK yet, or is
yeah.
it
Can
just
we
purely
actually get
Europe?
it yet?
Yeah, I mean, what are the ways and means
It's
to get it?
it is great being the first in the UK to have these various printers.
It's awesome.
And one of the advantages of that is we have the opportunity to thoroughly run them in
Yeah.
before they go on to general sale. But it is very it does get a little bit frustrating when you then go
Yeah.
on to like Amazon or onto one of the websites and it's not available in the UK. You know, that's
It can be quite daunting as well, to be honest.
mm,
I've had a few machines where I am actually the first person in the UK to have this machine, and I know there's no spare parts. You know, and they want me to test it, review it, and break the thing in. Well, I have tested and broken things in where I've actually broken them. Um, and yeah, okay, it's no major issue, but getting that replacement part can take weeks again. So by
yeah,
that point, my timescale goes to next to nothing, and it's meant to be being released,
yeah,
and I can't produce any information because it's broken.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know, so there are pros and benefits to having, you know, the first of things, but at the same time, there are major cons.
Yeah, 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 of course.
You've
Yeah.
got to. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I've got an extensive part list that I carry. I do hold all sorts, hot end extruders, you know, wheels,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
sorts, pretty much most
We've
useless
got
machines.
spares up the wazoo, but
Yeah,
that's only useful if they're using generic parts. When
exactly.
you start going to people like Artillery or the Fukus, where they are using um, more bespoke
It gets a bit
parts
more.
rather than off the shelf, it becomes more of an issue.
Yeah, I mean, the umbilical really did worry me when I first got that machine. I thought this could be painful if it all goes wrong, or if it doesn't work as it should. Um, but actually, that has been so reliable and consistent. It's unreal.
Mm.
I'm really impressed. It's, you know, I was expecting the PTFE to start drying out maybe by now, or to have connection issues from undoing it and doing it up. Nah, not a problem. That thing's chewing it up. I'm really
Nice.
enjoying it. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
So that's the ToAuto Pyramid A1.1 listed on their instruction book as an A2.1.
yeah.
Interesting.
I might
Um,
have an A2.1. I don't know.
but there isn't one listed on their website. So
No, I mean this was a bit of a last minute because it was meant to be a CR10.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But either way,
Um, Either way, I'm happy to have a pyramid because it's something different to me, and I got excited. So,
mm.
and
Anywho, so that is that, which will be, oh, excuse me, which will be coming up soon for a proper build test review type thing. So there's that to look forward to, and seeing
will get
what's
some.
new on the budget range large format printers.
Yeah, I might get a few teaser prints on under the hot end maybe in the next week. Might get a
Nice,
couple up there.
nice, nice.
The Fugus, I've got major plans for this weekend, so they will be coming up
Yep.
for sure.
And what else have you had going on?
Which reminds me, actually, the Fugus, this come today, and I ordered this not long after I got my Fugus because I got a bit excited and carried away. I went and ordered. That's the Wi-Fi module for the Fugus, which basically is a plug and play. You literally open up the bottom, slot this bad boy in, and your Fugus is rock ready. It's already set up in the firmware. All you do is you go in the menu, turn the Wi-Fi mode on, and off you go. Wireless. So yeah, I've been excited about that. That arrived today. Yeah, I'm going to get that in this week. Definitely. Yeah. It should be pretty easy from what I've read and looked at. It seems dead simple. It won't be. It never is. If anything could go wrong, I'll probably make it go wrong.
Does it come with fitting instructions and everything?
No.
Excellent.
No. You basically there's a port on the main board, and basically you slot that in and go into the menu and turn the option on, and away it goes.
Yeah.
There's no real fitting instruction other than on the Facebook group, Goose's Facebook group. They are quite helpful, and there's a few that have already done it, and they put up instructions on there on how to do it. So I will be following that closely. And Simon, if not, you might be getting a call. But yeah, I will be fitting that this week. We have with the Sunlu S1 filler dryers. Basically, a long time ago, I had a word with Simon, and we made a pivoting cradle for the Sunlu.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that I could bolt to the printer at the time on the side, and B, that pivoted 360 degrees, so you could turn it on, leave it to heat, and then you could turn it and it would feed direct into the printer.
Yep.
So Simon, being the genius he is, and me coming up with weird designs, we come up with a cradle at the time with an arm. Well, because I've changed my enclosures around, we revisited the cradle. I wanted anchors that would actually wrap round the legs of my enclosure rather than having to have big flat ones on the side. So we knocked up some hook anchors. So they bolt round now, and I can swing the cradle out and turn it and face and do all sorts of random things. So that's been quite a fun experience watching Simon think, Christ, this lad's nuts. Which he always does, no doubt. But yeah, he done an awesome job there for me, and I've literally printed them out, and I've just got to pick up a couple of bolts and bolt the whole thing together now. So that will be happening at some point.
There you go.
As you do. Yeah, I've got plans for a long print on the Fukus. I've had the Ender and the Hornet running all week on weird bits of scenery and buildings, actually. My in-law wanted a fairy house Don't really know
Nice.
why you want a fairy house, but she wanted a fairy house, so I printed
For your fairies.
well, for your fairies, of course. So I printed a 2 foot fairy house this week and painted it, which was different. And
Yeah.
then I spent a big part of my week this week thinking, when did I can't think of his name now. I've forgotten his name. That's bad. Yeah, I blanked. I blanked. I was in mid motion there. That's bad. I'll think of it in a minute, and we'll return to that.
Okay. I'm just as an infill there, Ragtag asked, is the wireless 2.4 gigahertz or 5 gigahertz? I'm doing a little bit of a search at the moment and can't pull up any information about it.
I believe it's 2.4. I have got all the information on this, and I can share it with you, Ragtag, if you need it. But I think it is a 2.4. In fact, let's have a look. I will be able to tell you. I actually can send you the link, Neil, and you can post it.
Yeah, we can bring it up on the screen.
That's what I mean. I'll send you the link. You can bring it up.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, it is a select one you have to buy out of the two. I think it's the 1.1, and apparently it's arriving tomorrow. That's good. It's a V1.0. The Rubens is the one you have to get, which is the legged version, not the clip-in weird version. It looks basically like a stepper driver.
Right, yep.
Yeah, because there's two types that they make for the Rubin. One's like a stepper driver, the other's like a clip-in weird thing. The clip-in weird thing won't fit.
Right.
It's got to be the stepper one.
Yeah.
So, not mega expensive. I think £8 was it? Something like that. £7.
$8.99.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much a plug and play, slot straight in. Like I say, you select it on the menu on the screen, and away you go. It's basically that simple. You plug in, select Wi-Fi. It's already preloaded in the firmware. I think it's a V1.0.
Still doesn't say whether it's 2.4 or 5 on there.
I think it's a 2.4. Yeah, I'm sure I remember reading it was 2.4.
Oh yeah, it has. It's got it printed on the thing. Yeah, 2.4 gigahertz. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the kiddie.
Yep.
Ah.
There you go.
And then
Ragtag is nonplussed by the idea of 2.4 gigahertz.
he's not impressed with it. No, hopefully it will all run as it should, and we will find out this week.
Dabby dozy.
So I want to get this big print done on the weekend, and then I will probably venture into that one on Monday, because tomorrow night I'm going to be building a giant monstrous printer. And then I've got to look at ripping down the top layer of my enclosure now.
Awesome. Fantastic.
And
We have a small aside. I mentioned to you earlier that we had been playing with some new technology lately.
Yeah.
I mean, I say new technology. It's not new technology, but it's new for our experiments. And I can show you a little preview of something Theo has been working on. and we in our ventures into AR. So we have created a digital taxidermy Snapchat filter.
As you do.
Which will allow you to put the digital taxidermy cow over your face. The eyes will light up when you blink, and then when you open your mouth, it will blow smoke out. But this is a very early experiment. However, we have been working on something which is far more exciting, which we can't show you at the moment. However, once it goes live, it will be appearing if you live in where is the location of this shop? It's oh jeez. Now I've forgotten. It's the other side of Ipswich. Yeah. If you live around there, then it will be appearing on a high street near Woodbridge. Woodbridge. If you live near Woodbridge, it will be appearing on a high street near you. If you don't live in Woodbridge, it won't be. But you can get the graphic in order to activate it. So let's just say Back to the Future Jaws, and that will give you an idea of the sort of thing that is coming. But it's going to be pretty cool. We've been
I've been
working on some new developments in augmented reality. So that will be coming soon.
Pretty cool. I mean, it's something a bit unusual and it's quirky. I like that. Definitely.
Yeah, just seeing what the potentials are with it, and where we can go, what we can do. Sort of combining the various like animation and graphical stuff that we do with virtual and augmented reality technology, to try and push things into new areas. We did a small test a while ago, where we created a poster, a little
That's right.
28mm scale type poster. And then when you put your phone up against it, it gave you a kind of 3D rotating poster, which kind of gave it a kind of Blade Runner feel.
I was going to say it was like Tronny Blade Runner-y sort of.
Yeah, very kind of like cyberpunk advertisement. So
I like it.
we're re-examining that now and seeing where that'll go.
Yeah, cool.
Which is quite interesting. So stand by for more fun and frivolity in the digital realm. That should be quite interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely got to be a place for it because it's fun. So there's a place for it. If nothing else, it's something unusual, something a bit different.
Yes, we are looking at things like enhancing shop signs and company logos and various things like that, where we can. Well, we're bringing Blade Runner to a town near you. We're building a real dystopia, and you can get on board.
The digital taxidermy dystopia is growing. And coming alive.
Exactly. No longer will it be just for imagination. You too can live a dystopian reality. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
That'll be something to keep an eye out on. Actually, I think that could be quite cool. Definitely.
Yeah. We're looking once this new store opens, we'll be going down there and making a few videos, an interview with the owner, and he has also got a whole bunch of our models on his gaming tables that he's now painted up and created massive displays of stuff. Some of it we've done custom for him. Other things we just printed out a whole bunch of catalog items.
Nice.
And yeah, we've hooked him up. So it'd be quite good to see what that finally looks like
No,
when we
cool.
get
No,
down
I
there.
look forward
So
to watching that. That sounds
yeah.
pretty epic. Actually, right up
The
my
the
street.
interesting thing about this particular sign that we have done is that the guy in the area in which the shop is located has some very big restrictions on what he can actually put on his sign.
Right.
So he can't have on there the graphics and the imagery that he actually wants. So
Yeah.
by adding the AR to it, he
He
can
can
make
get.
something a lot more exciting from the plain logo that he has to put on there.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure. Sure.
like he's
That's a
been
good idea.
denied to put his entire logo on there. It has to just be the words. It's kind of a hefty restriction. So it would be
Right.
interesting to see how to get around that.
Yeah.
And it would be
It'll be
interesting
interesting
to
to see.
find out the response as well.
Yeah, I was going to say it'll be interesting to find out the you know, the feedback on what people think and that side of it. That would be quite cool. So, yeah, no, look forward to that. That sounds interesting. Definitely.
Mm.
I've been doing a lot more with EYO 3D again on filaments. I'm still trying to battle the rolls of filaments that I got. That green is awesome, but I swear it doesn't go down. I don't know how. I've literally printed. I'm on my 4th building,
Good.
and the roll's just like meh.
Magic.
So yeah, it's pretty magic. But I have it dialed now, and I'm really impressed.
Oh wow. Okay.
I was impressed
That's good
before.
to know. That's good to know. 11
Mm,
pounds a roll.
£11. That's still the winner out there on roll. £11. That is like the holy grail of rolls.
That's do you hear what that is? Do you hear that? That's
I
the
can hear it.
music to my ear.
I can hear it. I
Yeah,
think I
that's
can
the
hear it down
music
here.
to my ear. You know,
Uh, yeah, no, I've now got the grey and the green dialed in where I've got no stringing, a silky smooth finish to it, and I'm getting reflection. It's printing that well now. I'm getting proper reflection off it.
oh
So
wow, okay,
yeah, I'm impressed.
nice.
I did post the other day of my work from this month, a lot of my work from this month on scenery and painting, mainly um, printable scenery stuff because I've got a whole weird goblin thing going on at the moment. Um, yeah, which is sort of taking over my printing life and painting life at the moment. But I've got a big tower that I've done purely out of EYO stuff, and I will be sharing that in the next day or so. I've literally got a couple hours worth of painting left, um,
Nice,
but it
nice.
is coming out nice.
I will, yeah, I will definitely be looking at once I've gone through our stock. I'll be looking at getting some more of theirs in. I wouldn't mind a darker version of the grey though.
Yeah, the grey's
The
more
grey
white.
is very white.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only thing I'm not overly fond of. When he said grey, I thought, oh, nice, okay, model grey, brilliant.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
it's a bit white.
Yeah.
That's,
Which, I mean, is not the end of the world. But
I mean, I'm trying my mine anyway. So,
we've now got used to a darker grey. And
yeah,
to be fair, there's a lot of things that I produce which are a concrete grey
yeah,
colour.
yeah.
And thus a concrete grey would be really good.
Yeah. So, Lewis, concrete grey, look into that, mate. I know
Yeah.
he's looking at things with different countries at the minute, which is quite cool. I'm really impressed for him. He's moving forward really well.
Yeah. So we can see the difference there.
Yeah.
Is like that's the grey that
It is
I've
nice.
been using, and this is the grey from the EYO.
It's light. It is very light. Basically, I've just brought myself a roll of rainbow from him because he sold rainbow and it was matte and I couldn't help myself. So I brought a rainbow and I brought a eSum filament off of him. So I will be running them this week.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to the rainbow because it's my favorite. It's matte. I love matte rainbow. If it prints right, it just looks awesome.
Nice.
So I'm really impressed and I really can't wait to play with that.
Nice. That's pretty cool. And you've been playing with your scanner as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I have a bit. Like I said, got a bit manic with running around hospitals and things. So my time dwindled quick over the last couple of weeks because my workload's gone up. I did have a quick play with the scanner, and yeah, so far I had quite good fun with it. I haven't sort of done a major scan, a really good quality scan yet, purely because I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing to start off with. But that being said, it was still really simple to use. I haven't got the motorized turntable.
Right.
So I've brought, the TV stands that you can get with like the roller bearings in.
Yep.
I've got one of those. So I actually put a Tracus on one of them.
Yeah, I mean you just need a lazy Susan.
Yeah.
We have one available in our Spool Tower STL file collection. There is a 3D printable lazy Susan base that you can use. Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
So yeah, I had a big flat screen one. It's about a 24-inch lazy Susan, basically. And I put a Tracus on there, and I put some of their marker spots on this turntable, and off it went. Yeah, I just turned that, and I'd done 2 angles. I think I'd done a rotation of it stood up, and then a rotation of it lying down. So I got top and bottom.
Yep.
Meshed. The meshing software done pretty much all the hard work for you. You just put in both the pictures, and yeah, it meshes it together.
You did send me a link to the mesh on your Gmail, your Google Drive, but I can't download it at the moment. I was just thinking about whether I could open it in VR and we could have a little look around it. But
yeah, I'm not sure. Hang on.
I just requested access, but it would just be a little tour to take a deeper look at what came out from your first experiment.
Yeah, it really wasn't the best picture ever, to be honest. Or scan ever, should I say? Yeah, you just requested, and I don't know where the request has gone. How bad's that? Yeah. I mean, it was simple. It was easy. I had quite good fun doing it.
Nice.
So I know I can get better because the item I actually scanned was a little bit too shiny, if you like.
Yep.
So yes, that should have been better.
Although it does appear that I am having some hardware issues at the moment, and I may need to reboot before I can load it up. So ho hum, that might not be doable
Yeah,
right
no,
now
what I'll do,
because otherwise we will lose the stream.
yeah, that won't be
You
good. I
know,
mean,
technical
I'll do,
difficulties and all. Um,
I'll
but
do a
we
better
can,
scan this week anyway. I know where I went wrong, and um, it was dead simple. I'll send over a decent scan to Neil, and we can drop that in next week's stream.
yes, we've
Yeah,
got a picture up on the screen at the moment of the scan that came out of there. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, I mean, it doesn't look too bad.
I mean,
The
what I should have done, I should have done another angle on it, because the top where you see it quite rough up there, um, that was basically because I had it at sort of that angle, and that top is the bottom. So it
right,
wasn't actually
okay,
getting a decent image on the top of it. Um,
right, okay.
for the
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things, so when you have your turntable, and this is what I know from when we were doing photogrammetry. So you have your turntable and you turn it, but you also want almost like a globe stand where
Yeah,
the scanner can be in this position, and then this position. And then
yeah,
you can turn it 360 there, 360 there, and 360 there. And
yep.
then you'll be able to capture the detail of all of the entire thing.
The issue I had at the time, which I didn't think about, I was getting different heights on the tripod,
Mm,
because you've got a different height. You've got a height adjuster on the tripod and an angle adjuster.
mhm.
Um, what I hadn't thought about was I'd gone round that way, and looking at it, it caught most of the detail on the top.
Mm.
So I laid it sort of diagonally down so it could get the bottom. But what I didn't think about was I didn't have the very tip at the top.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Why it was a little bit scatty on the top there. So
Yep.
yeah, it was a simple
Yeah,
mistake.
and we'll have a little bit more of a delve into that.
Yeah,
I mean, we can take a closer look at that scan. But also if you've got any as you take some more scans, you can take a look at it in the VR. And then we can look at what we have to do to be able to fix the mesh as well. So
yeah.
we
I
can
mean,
see we can do some scans to see what is the smallest thing that you can actually do, and then we can also see what the detail replication is like on bigger things as well.
yeah. What I'll do is I'll take a majority of scans of different sized objects over the
And
next week or so,
materials as well,
and
different
materials. Yeah, I mean,
materials
that
is,
was, in fairness, that was a super high gloss resin um, bust. So it was very shiny,
yeah, they don't
which
like that.
they don't like, and it
They
actually
don't
done
like that.
really well. It actually picked out majority of the detail. It put in some weird textures in some places,
Yep.
um, but
Which,
it
you
did.
know, can be fixed in post.
Yeah, I mean, it did do well for what it did. I wasn't expecting half as good, to be honest, because it was like, I don't know, stick that on there, turn that round. It was a proper first time venture into 3D scanning for someone.
Yep.
Um, and I haven't touched any of the settings in the software. That was purely out of the box auto settings. Off it goes. It done all right. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. In fact, I'm actually looking forward to seeing what I can do with it now.
Yep.
Now, now I've done a bit more research on it, and I've learned. Look, don't be a dick. You've got to actually take a picture of that part.
Yep.
you know, I can see it moving forward quite nicely. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
I
it's just refining the process. And once we've got some details of what you have to do
mm,
to do the thing,
yeah,
we can definitely look at do a scan, a print, compare the two.
yeah,
Yeah, so
exactly.
you can
I mean,
you can take an object, scan it in, print it out, and then compare the print to the original.
Yeah, I mean that scan there is actually bigger than what it looks in the picture. That is actually like quite a chunky model.
Yep.
So print that, I wouldn't have been able to put it on the ender anyway.
I
It's
mean,
bigger
you
than
can
the
shrink it. You can
yeah,
shrink it down.
yeah. I mean, I could shrink it down or chop it up, or but for the sake and purpose of actually replicating what we're scanning, it would have been too big at the time. I mean, I can now once I've got this built, we could print that.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, so yeah, that's something we'll definitely look at. This we will look at getting some really funky scans, and we can take a look at the quality of the scan and how well the mesh is and everything else on our next live for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I'm very excited about
yeah,
having a little mess around with some of them for
I've
sure.
actually been really desperate to have a play with it, and things have been just so chaotic. I've not even had a look in. Um, within dealing with different things and trying to sort this bloody enclosure, it has just sucked up time quicker than you can imagine.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so
And
that in
here in the
mind,
UK, another thing that is going on for us with kidlets and stuff is the 6 weeks holidays, um,
yeah,
which
yeah,
also
that's a
eats
thing.
up a lot of time as well. So
Yeah,
um,
I did. I did look into eBaying children and things, but it is definitely frowned upon.
yeah, they don't
It,
like that, unfortunately.
no,
No,
no.
you've got a dark web that.
Yeah, and that gets dirty. It gets a bit naughty, doesn't it? I think,
Yeah,
you know.
no, it's just best not to like
No.
just
So
stick them in a
basically, you
box
got to
under
find
the
out
cupboard and save them for Christmas.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Carl's got it sorted. If we're honest, you know, Ragtag has got it sorted. He is now putting his kids to work on a YouTube channel.
Yep. See you
Genius.
later, Simon. Take it easy. Thanks for dropping by.
Cheers, dude. See you soon. I'll speak to you a little later, Si. Um, yeah, Ragtag's got it absolutely genius. He's putting his kids to work now on YouTube. So
Yeah.
hats
Yeah,
off to the guy.
exactly. And that's totally legit as well. Like,
Yeah, yeah, hats off to the guy.
you're allowed to send your kids to work on YouTube. That's how it works.
That's how it does work. You know,
Because
it's controlled
they're not
rules.
employed. They're not
They're
employed.
not
There's
employed.
no child
You're
labor
keeping them
laws.
entertained. You can
Yeah.
actually class it as educational.
Yes,
What a
exactly.
winner! That is actually
Exactly.
classed as good parenting.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So no, I actually love what Simon's doing. What Carl's doing with them. You know, I mean, what a genius idea! Get the kids involved. Get them,
Yep.
teach them how to 3D print and.
And I mean, the thing is when you don't allow children to work, how do you expect them to be able to buy beer and cigarettes?
Exactly that. You
Yeah,
cannot send them down the shop, people, to
yeah.
buy your beer and cigarettes if you won't let them work.
No, their own beer and cigarettes.
No, they work and they go buy you beer and cigarettes. Come on, Neil. That's how it works. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, my hat's off. At least he's got you know, he's come up with an ingenious idea there, I think, and
yeah, yeah.
all the best on that. I really hope that goes well. Because I think that's a really nice idea, a really nice
That
channel. That,
really is. That really is.
yeah.
So,
So anybody hop over and see that.
where does that leave us for this week's doings then?
This week's doings. We're pretty low on this week's doings now, I think.
Yeah, we've covered most of it, haven't we? We've got the latest look at the big print of what has come in. We've got the scanner we've taken a look at. We've
Big
got
news to look
we've
at.
covered news and bits. And we've got the fact that there is not going to be a show next week, but in 2 weeks' time, we'll have another whole bunch of stuff. Have you got any more filaments lined up?
I have. I've got eSun.
Right. Yep. Yep.
That I actually bought.
Everybody knows them. Everybody loves them. How do how do they rank on your board? That'll be the
I've
good
never
one.
actually, I've never actually used these ones, so this will be a new one for me. I actually went out and bought this one because I thought, let's give it a go, and I
Nice,
thought we'll rank it.
nice. It'd be how much if you went out and bought it? How much was it just in advance?
I think it was about 16 quid, £15, 99p. Yeah, it's not cheap. I think it's about 15. I could be wrong. Um, it's around that. Um,
Ouch.
I've got the Yusu that I've got to do the PVB. I've got to print with that yet, so that'll be a good one for
Okay.
our next live. I'm going to do something funky with PVB and then immerse it to
Which is
isopropyl.
great because the Fukus will handle all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, I was going to chuck it through the ender because I know the ender will handle it, but I thought actually
Yeah,
let's
but
kill
I
two
mean,
birds.
even then, you're verging on breaking down the Bowden.
No, I'm on direct drive on the ender.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
fine,
No, it's stupidly modded my ender. You know that. It's yeah. Um,
fine then.
no, I thought I'd actually put it through the Fucus purely because it will kill two birds with one stone. A, we can see what the Fucus does with exotic filaments, and B, we can see what the exotic filaments does with the Fucus. No,
Yeah,
two birds with one stone. I thought that would be a good idea. I've just got to work out what it is I want to print with it. Probably going to be something relatively medium size because I've got to find a container to put it in.
nice. So yeah, that pretty much covers it then. And in the meantime, over the next couple of weeks, once we get the scans in, what we'll probably do is not only have a little look on the live, but might well produce a little video that can go on our channels, taking a look at the scanner and meshes and
Oh,
playing with them because it will be something that we can do a little bit more with a little time and editing to just sort of give
yeah,
you an
yeah.
overview of what's going on.
I think the
So
reason point needs it would definitely need it would be better in a video than me even trying to show you guys how to use it because I'm learning how to use it as well. Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and
and it's
we can combine the we can then combine the videos of you doing some scans, me looking at the post, and then doing some prints and compare the input
where
with
am
the
I not?
output and see what we got. And just sort of how time consuming it is to do as well.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
because from photogrammetry, I know that it can be quite time consuming and
well,
resource heavy to do photo scanning.
the one I've done um, took about 15 minutes complete,
Mm.
and that was to mesh it and to put it all together. Um, which I didn't think was too bad, especially when I didn't have really a clue on what I was doing. I think you could probably half that. So it is pretty much a plug and play job. It's quite user friendly and everything's built in it to do it. The actual software side is very easy to use and it does everything. So you put each scan in like that was two, so you drop them in. You tell it to mesh it together. You can tell it to smooth it if you want, or you can tell it to fill it, and it does it all for you, and it creates your code at the end.
Nice. Yeah, no, these would all be things that would definitely be a good idea for us to look at creating a video
Yeah,
on, like the whole process, really. Because what I mean, we could do a live where we're doing it. That will probably take us like 3 hours to go through and do
yeah,
it, which is fine. We can definitely do that, but it might be good to produce a video that we can just
yeah. I think we might be better doing a video that people can actually go back to. So if any of you do decide to get the Revo point, you can say, how did they do that? And you can look it back up,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
it's going to
Yeah,
be
for
a good
sure. Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Okay then. And Ragtag says the Ender 7 should be with him this weekend. So in a couple of weeks, he should be able to join us as well to have a look at the Ender 7 and how that shapes up.
I'm looking forward
So
to that.
yeah, I'd be interested to see about that and see what the final word is on that one. And I suppose that just leaves us to say night night, everybody there in TV land.
Adios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it easy,
Thank you for
peoples.
joining
Have
us.
fun then.
Yeah, take it easy.
Bye bye now.